Hello, friends. We have returned. This is indeed part two of our digital/radio broadcast. Some would say it's the first ever episode that airs right here on the YouTube. This is what's going on. And this is Ryan Verneuille here. Nate Brown is here in spirit, but us, the crew, Franco Vanderka and myself, and there'll be a plethora of other guys that come in here, are here to bring you some sports. And we've got a goddamn Long Island legend with us in this StreamYard right now. He will steamroll right over your face. Matty Frevola is here on What's Going On. How you doing,
Yeah.
brother?
Dude, I'm doing good, man. Fight camp is upon us, so I'm working hard, getting ready. We got a big one coming up at Madison Square Garden, November 11th, and I can't wait.
I mean, this is a big one, dude. I've seen you lay some men out. I've seen you steamroll men to the ground. You've got a way with your combos where you just start getting at them, and you just. Now, I got to ask you this because you'll throw 3 or 4 punches, all of which are doing damage, but you just connect at that sweet spot right under their chin. It seems almost every time. I mean, what's the secret to laying a punch like that in somebody's face?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's got to be my coach Ray Longo, the godfather of MMA. You know, uh, he wanted me to really dial into my boxing these last couple years. So I've been doing a lot of boxing, and it's been showing because I've been knocking everyone out with my
With that
hands.
left, baby. Come on.
Just putting people to sleep, man. And it looks like it. That's how you know it hurts. It looks like it's not even like going that hard, and people just drop.
Yep.
You're just perfectly timing these shots out. Incredible to watch. And dude, you've got quite the fight coming up. I mean, I see the name Benoit, I feel fear instantly. There's lots of reasons for it. But look, we all, I know as fans, a lot of us really wanted you to fight somebody else, right? Like, and you called the man out. You called Lil Paddy out for the fight. I mean, what was the decision that was made for you to take this fight, if there is one? I'm not really privy to how this all works, but why didn't you get that fight with Paddy? What the hell's going on? We want to see you kick this guy's ass.
Yeah, I made it no mystery that was the fight I wanted. I was calling him out, and the UFC knew that. And but in the end of the day, I wanted to fight at Madison Square Garden, and they offered me an awesome opponent in Benoit, who's on like a 4-fight
Yep.
finishing streak with 2 submissions, 2 knockouts. He's a badass, and that's why I got in this game, man. I want to fight the best fighters around the world, test myself against the best guys. And he's, a badass from France. He was a special forces military guy out there, just killing everybody. And I don't see any better fight than to test myself against a true warrior like him. And I think also, in the end of the day, I think Paddy, maybe Paddy had that option to accept that fight with me, and he backed out, man. He backed out. He chose he chose the easy way out. He chose to fight Tony Ferguson, who's on a 3-fight losing skid, who's 40 years old now. He took the easy way out, and I took the toughest fight that they offered
As
me.
usual, man. As usual, bro. I mean, three fight win streak, all first round KOs, all beasts that you're taking out. And like you said, BSD, man, 4 fights in a row, 4 first round finishes. So this is gonna be a war. You asked Dana if Paddy didn't want that fight, you wanted a warrior, and that's what we got, huh?
Yeah, exactly, man. That's why I got in this game, to test myself against the best guys in the world, and all around the world. I love fighting. A guy from France. I've never fought a guy from France,
It's important.
so
As an
it'll be.
American, Matt, it's an important task to beat down a Frenchman. You've got to do this for all of us,
Yeah,
dog.
got to do it.
You mentioned just wanting to fight the greatest fighters in the world. That's wild, dog. I'm sorry. Like, people piss me off. Sometimes I want to smack somebody. It takes a certain state of mind to be in. When did that begin? When did you realize, damn, I want to fight the best fighters in the world?
Man, it's since I started this, I was fighting amateur. First goal was to become a professional, and then I became a professional, and then the next goal is to get to the UFC, because that's where the best fighters are at, in the UFC. and now I've been in the UFC for about like 5-6 years now. Fighting everybody they throw at me, and now I'm finally ranked, and I'm ranked number 14 in the world, and I'm only trying to go up from there. So I'm trying to fight the best guys they got out there and keep knocking them down.
Number
I see
14,
that, man.
man. Number 14. We love it. And it's been quite a road, huh?
Yeah, man, it's been
Now,
quite
do
a
you
journey.
consider yourself a ginger,
I'm
a
a
day
day
walker?
walker.
So
You
I
know,
would say that you're probably top fighting ginger in the world right now. Would you say there's anyone else that could possibly hold a candle to you?
dude. I think as of right now, you might be right. I think I'm top dog when it comes to that category.
Wow. Now that in itself is an incredible feat. My God. So
Yeah, but I do get tan in the summers. I don't have freckles, and I have a
see that.
soul.
So you're not a real. You're day walking, like you said. You're definitely a
Yeah,
day
yeah.
walker in that sense. My God. Wow. So Long Island has some great fighters, and people don't even realize that. I asked you about your origins and kind of what made you want to fight the best fighters ever. Because I feel like on Long Island, everybody and their mother does MMA. And it's one thing to go into a gym and roll around with some friends, but it's another thing to realize, okay, I want to fight the greatest fighters in the world. That's a certain mentality that you're probably born with.
Yeah, man. I've been a competitor since I was born. I got a twin brother. Me and him have been beating each other up and competing in sports our entire lives. And yeah, man, when I got into this, I was always, trying to get the toughest fights I could get. When I was an amateur, I got to go down to Costa Rica and fight like a 9-0 guy in Costa
Wow.
Rica, and I got the amateur Costa Rican belt, and I got that taste of like of showing my American pride and beating up these
Woo.
foreigners. And yeah, man, we're just doing it now on the biggest
Hey,
stage.
you dumbed down that Costa Rica story a little bit, huh? Tell him where you fought in
Yeah.
Costa Rica.
So it was my first title fight as an amateur, and I was 3-0 as an amateur, so it was my fourth fight ever, and my teammate was actually supposed to fight this opponent who was 9-0 Costa Rican champion for the belt, and he got hurt. So then they asked me, I was like, hell yeah, let's go, and I went down there and I fought the 9-0 guy, and we fought in a bullfighting arena,
What?
and it was outside Cocoa Beach, Costa Rica, and it was like outside. It started raining on us while we were fighting. It was in a ring. It was
Was
a
it in front of
wild
Shao Kahn?
experience.
The hell is that?
It might as well.
That is insane.
Man,
Wow.
you go from fighting in a bull arena, man, to the Mecca again. This is what the second fight at MSG in what 8 months now, 9 months.
Yeah, I fought last year. I fought last November at MSG, and then I fought in 2018 in MSG. So this will be my third
So
time.
I remember during COVID, it was different watching UFC. You could really like hear the hits
Hmm.
when people were getting smashed. And it seems different. Don't take it from me. I'm a very frail man, but usually you'd think that performing in front of large crowds just like brings out that different side of you and that animal in you. I mean, what's it like fighting at the Garden versus fighting in front of Shao Kahn? Like how does it impact you as a fighter?
Dude, honestly, in the end of the day, when I'm in there, and I got an opponent across from me, I'm so dialed in. I'm so focused on the task at hand, at defeating my opponent. But when I'm at MSG and I'm hearing the
Yes,
Steamrolla chants, and I'm hearing the USA chants, it definitely like fires me up and just like gets me going. I love it. The energy that the arenas bring is unmatched.
Man,
man. So we're actually going to be at this fight too. I'm so hyped that you're going to be here for this, Rye, because the
I'm so hyped.
steamroller chance. Like you hear them in the bar beforehand, and you're like, "Damn, this is gonna be crazy." And then you
I'm
get
gonna be. I'm biased as hell. I'm gonna be sitting there, reporter, writing, just saying USA, USA,
into
freedom fries, freedom fries. I'm hyped, man. You're
That's
about to
it.
turn this man to freedom fries.
Got to do it. Yeah, I'm gonna eat some freedom fries after I
that's
knock
gonna
this
be the
guy
first
out.
meal.
Yeah, that and
Oof,
some red velvet cake, NYPB.
bless.
Ooh.
Oh man, okay, that is a partnership made in heaven.
See that?
The
I love it.
Steamrolla and NYPB. Really quick before we go to a quick break, why don't we plug the collaboration, the collaborative effort between you gentlemen? What do we got to look forward to?
Yeah, man. Dude, the best edibles I've ever had. Like they taste so good, and Franco, you guys are just so cool, and I'm lucky to be teamed up with you guys. And I only team up with guys that I really believe in, guys that I really like, and the product has to be great, and that's why I love
My
these
man.
So
guys.
good.
I,
The
I
peanut butter and jelly cookie, man.
I appreciate the peanut butter and jelly cookie. Nah, man, I appreciate that, especially coming from you. That this is the easiest sponsorship, easiest collaboration, New York Pop Fighters ever had. So nice, and we got in on the ground floor, and we were ready to take this all the way the hell up. I cannot wait for that.
All the
That's
way
it.
to the
That's
belt,
it.
baby.
I love it. It's a certain state of mind you got to be in to eat those NYPBs and beat the living piss out of somebody. My God, I love it. Don't go anywhere. This is what's going on. The Steamroll is with us. Franco, Ryan in studio, and we will return. I remember growing up in a time where fighting was taken very seriously, where you had to be an absolute madman to step in the ring with a professional fighter. But now, our favorite YouTubers can be found in the ring, making tremendous amounts of money hand over fist. And it even is a topic of conversation on sports shows all around the world. This is indeed what's going on. Ryan Verneuille, Franco Vanderka in studio, and we are still with the Steamroller. And we must ask you, Matt, what are your thoughts on all of this celebrity fighting in general? We've got some big ones coming up. Is there a celebrity that would even stand a chance with a UFC fighter that is active right now?
Dude, I mean, these guys are boxing. They're not fighting. I always say mixed martial arts is the pinnacle of fighting. You got punches, you got kicks, you got elbows, you got knees, you got wrestling, you got jujitsu. I think that a lot of these YouTubers, like the Paul brothers, like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, that looks like they got money behind them. It looks like they're putting in legit fight camps. It looks like they got
Mhm.
legit coaches, and they're training the right way. And then they could step into the ring and they could box. But I think they're very smart in how they pick their opponents and how they promote their fights, and they're doing well with it. And I think really anything in the combat sports, all this fight promotion is just going to be good for all fighters.
For sure. People are talking about it, and that's what it's about these days. We're competing with kitten videos. You and me both. Literally, it's how much of an attention span can people have when you're competing against kitten videos? So that being said, it's good that they're at least taking it seriously. I think that
Yeah, but you don't see them fighting mixed martial arts. You see
Exactly.
them
exactly
boxing.
they're only boxing. So if you were to, I guess you answered the question. There really isn't one that you could just stick into an MMA ring. It's just a totally different. There's too many variables. Too much could go wrong for these guys.
Yeah,
But you see your boy, you see
exactly.
Bradley Martin always asking the question, to different fighters like, who would win in a street fight, me or you? And it's like, yeah, Bradley's with the Nelk boys, and Bradley's a moose. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, how do you think you would fare? Like, who would win in a street fight, you or Bradley Martin?
Bro, I don't know. Isn't he
He's a
like
big boy.
260?
He's definitely a big boy, but like,
Oh, the thing that he's like, bro, I'm
yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
260
he's like
though.
a white Barry Bonds. I've never seen so many. I don't want to say I don't know if it's steroids or what, but the guy's just a tank.
It's definitely steroids. But no, man. Well, there's
Yeah,
always guys like that who walk into the gym like, juiced up and big and strong, and those guys don't last, man. They don't last, and maybe they can't move. They're not as flexible. That guy's too jacked. I feel like he can't even throw a
that's what
punch
I was gonna
if he
say.
had to.
Like, you get him in a street fight, and like, what is he gonna do? Just grab you and like wrestle you to the ground? Him throwing punches, you see that from a mile away. You can come around the corner.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you definitely don't want that big guy like grabbing a hold of you, but I mean, in the streets, anything could happen. But those guys, those builds aren't meant for high level fighting, and that's why you don't see, on the highest level, you don't see these guys, that jacked, like that big, because it's counterproductive. You gotta be flexible. You gotta be able to move, and you gotta be able to, put your combinations together. And I think he's too stiff.
So
Or
so
you could just be Tyson Fury. Like this, I don't.
Yeah,
I
right.
saw that video
Exactly.
recently that surfaced to him, and I forgot who was it. Francis Namaga. I can't even pronounce his name without sounding like an idiot. But he's about to start
Yeah,
really taking this seriously, right? The world of boxing. I mean, Franco, who did you say he was going to be training with? Was it literally Mike Tyson?
yeah, you see those video surface that he's taking like lessons with Mike. He's training with Mike Tyson, showing him like the front left and everything like that. You think that's going to help him?
yeah, man. I mean, Francis can fight. But boxing again, that's Tyson Fury's world. He was
Yep,
born boxing, um, and so I mean, Francis is definitely at a disadvantage in that fight. But if anybody's gonna help him, uh, box, it's gonna be Mike Tyson. And you look at the way that Mike Tyson's always the smaller guy, and having to like work the body to work up the top. And Fury's like so tall, and Francis is going to be the smaller guy. So maybe Tyson could help Francis with some techniques on how to fight taller
kind of
guys.
crazy that we're saying Francis is going to be the smaller guy in the fight.
I
That's
know,
some. That's
right?
two big dogs rolling around in that ring, man. That's going to be something.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That and we'll see, man. I mean, you got to think that Fury is going to go in there and dominate the fight, but at heavyweight, I think Francis has got the power that he could
Definitely.
land some shots, and I'm always rooting for Francis because he really stood up for what he believed in, and he turned the UFC down, turned everyone down, and got what he wanted.
Which is great, man. And he went through the ringer for that too, which is crazy. And now you see WWE and UFC merging obviously into TKO. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm curious to see how they're gonna really merge, and what kind of things they're gonna do. I'd love to link up with some like WWE and like go to like a SmackDown or go to a Raw. I'm old school though. I was like
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
WWF. I loved The Rock. I love Stone Cold. I love the Big Show and the Undertaker and all those. I grew up on that stuff, so
I
I'm
still am not
about
even
it.
sure if this is just one big storyline for Vince McMahon. Like just when we think that the UFC's, he's like, no, you're not pride for my cold dead hands. Something tells me that there's something more going on. Unless there's like an invasion plan. Like, what's the chance we're going to see a UFC invasion? Much like we did as kids when we saw WCW invade.
Dude, that would be awesome. Sign me up. They better not forget the steamroller when they
Dude, you would have
Asian.
you would have such a sick like character in the WWE. Like such an awesome character. I think that would be amazing.
That be fun, man. And I think that does open up a lot
Yep.
of things for fighters. You know, like we're lucky to fight 3 times a year. So I mean, I think it would be good for fighters to get involved in the WWE just to make more money, to stay busy, and have
Is
some
that
fun.
something anyone's been discussing or you've heard any wind of since the purchase?
No, I really haven't heard much. My boy Charlie Campbell, though, he fought the other night. He had an awesome first round knockout. And then he gets on the mic and he's talking to DC. And he goes, "Hey, DC, what'd you think about my boxing?" And he grabs the mic and he goes, "It doesn't matter what you think about my boxing." Just roasted him
And the
with
and
the
the
old
Rock,
rock.
he even reached out to him, which was pretty cool. He like reposted it and all that. That was cool to see.
Never gets old.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, it's all good
Somehow you
things.
fall for it every time. Every time. It's just so good at it. Man, incredible.
Yeah.
So we do it's kind of towards the end here. We know you're very, very busy. You've got a lot of fighting and training to do. But I do hear that you're a big fan of the New York Mets. What are your thoughts? Is there hope for the future? They've traded away your 2-star pitchers. Do you think that there's a chance next year that the Mets could maybe land Shohei and become one of the greatest teams in Major League Baseball again?
Listen, we have the best owner in baseball. As long as we have Steve Cohen, we always got a shot. And what did Cohen say? We're looking at, 2025, 2026, And I mean, we got a lot of young talent, and the Mets, we will be there. We will be there, and that we had to make the tough decisions. The Wilpons would not have made that. The Wilpons would have probably rode out with these old pitchers and just tried their best. But the Cohens right now, they're making the hard decisions, the right decisions for the future. So definitely, we'll be winning a World Series
Is it the
eventually.
right decision to trade Pete Alonso? That's the talk that's on the town.
Oh man, I hope not. I hope they don't trade Alonso. I mean, Alonso's been such a. I mean, he's just hits dingers every year. I'd like to see him really step up and be more of a leader, and really like take control of the clubhouse. Um, but besides that, we need Alonso. Can't trade him.
I would
He,
agree.
the polar bear, man, he's got to be there to stay. And next year obviously be huge when you get Edwin Diaz back. You get Timmy Trumpets back out,
Oh,
and that's Maddie's walk up too. I cannot wait to hear that in Madison Square Garden again, man. I cannot wait for that.
it's gonna be amazing.
Something to look forward to. November 11th, if my short-term memory serves me correctly. And I can't wait to be whooping ass with you in a video game. I might actually buy a video game just so I can whip some ass in it. Have you ever played as yourself in the UFC video game?
No, I haven't been in the game yet. That's why I'm still I'm
Wait,
still waiting. I'm
time
still
out. The
waiting.
new UFC game that's eventually coming out, that's absolutely insane. You're a top 15 fighter in the
I
weight class.
I bet. I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that I'm in it. They haven't told me anything yet, but that's how the UFC does. I signed away all my likeness, so they'll just throw me in the video game and not even
What?
tell
Or
me.
at least put him in WWE. Put him in something.
Yeah, I better be in the video game. If I'm not in the video game,
Oh,
we're
dude,
gonna
we're going to take
riot.
this clip and we're going to just spread it like wildfire.
Yeah, yeah. The people want to play with the
That's a
The
steamroller.
roll.
Come on.
Steamrolla. Matt Frevola in studio, the people's champ. Move over, Rock. Be there November 11th with all three of us. We're going to be watching from the sidelines, don't worry. This is indeed what's going on. We've got more to talk about. Thank you so much for joining us, Steamrolla, Franco, Ryan in studio, and you, the great people of Western New York, and we will return. Let's go.